the industry or the audience doesn't know what they want, which also kind of translates to the industry can't exactly predict
Yeah.
what the audience wants.
What I think remains the same is that mentality of keep pushing if you really believe in it and just like really go for it and not give up. I think this like applies to everything. Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast episode. Today it's just me and Richard again, and we're gonna be talking
Absolutely.
about what it was like running a podcast for the last 6 months and all the things we learned that helped us keep leveling up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been 1 month since our recording of the last episode, and I think this will come out in about a month-ish,
Depends when we
depending
decide.
on when this releases. But it's been a really fun time
Absolutely.
doing it every
Every week.
week for one
Twice.
semester,
Twice every week.
twice every week because it's 2 episodes, but it's once because we do it back to back.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun, and it's really nice to be able to like also meet a lot of your friends and to just also catch up with old friends and see what they think about the film industry, but also just their relationship with it.
And he's like building a career. in the
Yes.
industry.
Also, I found it really interesting that a lot of my friends and a lot of your friends, a lot of people in between, I barely have those kind of conversation with them, or when I do, it often doesn't go as deep. And somehow I think this format helps them really open up and dig deeper into certain things, and it was really interesting to see their perspective.
Yeah, what was the most unexpected thing for you during this whole thing?
I mean, I think each guest's personality really shines through, but at the same time, I think there's what I found really most interesting was how much in common how much people have in common in terms of the way they think about film and filmmaking and what they do, right? Whether it's DPing, whether it's directing, writing, a lot of the same kind of mindset about creativity and about navigating it, I think, kind of overlaps. And I think that's really comforting in a way.
Yeah, no, this whole thing has been like almost therapeutic, I feel like, for me, because it
Yeah.
kind of stemmed from my fear of graduating and having to be thrown into the film industry. And I just wanted to kind of talk to people who are maybe a step above before us in their careers and the things they figured out. And honestly, learning that you kind of see that everyone, though they're unsure as well, but there is that sense of optimism. But within all our guests, was very comforting that like there's a very shared mentality that it's like it's gonna work out at the end of the day, even though there's no concrete, nothing like set in stone, but everyone's still like just moving forward on the grind.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was just so cool to see literally every week, and it was inspiring too.
Yeah.
I was learning from everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part is the learning.
Yeah.
The learning and the just broadening your perspective, really. I think that's kind of the best part of it. Yeah.
Because there's people honestly from like all experience levels, like
Yeah.
people who are really advanced, and there's people who are kind of similar at levels to us, but they all had something really unique and great to offer, which kind of showed us a new side of film that we kind of maybe not have noticed before. And I think it was just great to bring these people together, and I'm really looking forward to like the next many episodes.
Yeah, me too. I think this is really exciting. And also, I think both of us have learned a lot about, first of all, I mean, obviously podcast, but also how to like ask interesting questions and be interesting interviewers. Just because of this format, like not everyone is comfortable in front of a camera, and so I think having that empathy towards our guests, but also ourselves, I think has played a huge role in how much we've been able to progress. I mean, it's changed a lot from details like how we set up the camera to like how we go about reaching out and then having people on, and that's all been a really rewarding experience.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of like stuff we have implemented like year-wise on our podcast, like we can talk a little bit about like the first episode and how chaotic that was,
Yeah.
and how like we kept getting new and new ideas on how to improve a setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the very beginning we were just gonna do it online. Our good friend Octavian was like, "Nah, you have to do it in person if you
Yeah.
can." And I was just like, "How am I gonna build a set? Like, where am I finding the space
Mm-hmm.
for a podcast?" And then I was thinking my living room, but then I was like, "Wow, if we're filming and people are walking in and out, it's gonna be quite distracting." And I was looking at my own room. I'm like, "There's no space in my room." Like, you
Yeah.
look at the traditional setups, this isn't like that traditional. I feel like the traditional, they always have a table in between. They got like all this gear everywhere, and we have half this room to use, and
Yeah.
we're using it. And I
Yeah.
think that's just what's so cool about learning how to do a podcast, because even if you have like the smallest apartment, I think you can set up something if
Oh
you
yeah.
really want us to do a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I mean, this is not, and this is like a California king
Yeah.
size room,
Yeah.
literally.
And I think kind of ties into just the whole idea of creativity. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think setting limits is really helpful,
Mhm.
and like working within a limit, and so that totally applied to our podcast, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we can kind of talk a little bit about, if you guys want to get started on your own podcast, what's a shortcut to getting you guys on your podcast journey? I think the microphones, right?
Oh yeah, those are essential. I mean, to get
Those
quality
are the
audio
first
and
things we got. Yeah.
getting precise quality, editable, uh, controllable audio. I think that's the best part. We
Hmm.
didn't have these. We tested like
So
one
many
to
mic
two
stands.
stands and mics, and like different setups, lighting, how to coordinate everything, and yeah, it's just been like an evolution, and I think
Oh yeah.
it's been it's been really great to like just go from just going at it in the beginning and then
Hmm.
figuring out slowly like, oh, here's how other podcasts do it, and then
Hmm.
here's what we can take and what we can improve on, stuff like
Well,
that.
how we can make
Yeah.
it our own, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just
Yeah.
integrate different parts to make it the best that it can be. Yeah.
And we like tried so many different cameras, and finally we kind of settled on like the Sony cameras,
Yeah.
just like the color
Yeah.
all look the
Just
same.
matching. Yeah.
And we just happen to have roommates with the same camera,
Hmm.
so it's like I borrow my roommate's camera.
Everyone has the same kinds of
Sony
models. The
A7
Sony A7
A4
series, A7
A7 IV,
IV.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the mic stand, we tried the default one, and you just gotta lean over all the time. But
Yeah.
these like extension arms, you can get it really close, and it's like not in the way
Hmm.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of like podcasts use these,
Hmm.
and also having like an interesting background, whatever it may be, just not white walls. Having like a fake plant also adds a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And having the light on the far side, I think it was also huge. Just like, because we had it on this side for the longest time, and then we moved it here on a C stand,
Hmm.
and it's great, you know. This cat right here. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want a more in depth how to set up a podcast, stay tuned on the filmmaking channel. And back to like what it was like interviewing people. I mean, who are some of the uh, more interesting people that you remember from this podcast you
Yeah.
might not have, talked to before?
I would say Octavian. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Nice.
Just how, I guess, he has some very like he has his opinions about film school and about navigating the industry and whatnot. But at the same time, he's such a laid back person, and I really appreciated that. Like just the way he shared his insights, and talked about filmmaking. Was that was our first
That was our first released
ever,
episode.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really fun. And then I think, I don't know, everyone kind of brought their own unique perspective.
Oh,
And
for sure.
yeah, I really appreciated that. What about you?
Mine, I mean, I have a few. Obviously, every episode was like amazing in their own ways.
Hmm.
I really did like Ethan's episode just because it was like
Yeah.
it was so fun, you know?
Yeah, he has the energy.
Yeah, like it showed what entertainment is in a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
I also really liked Kim Kardashian was great. Like,
Oh, how could I forget? Yeah, that's
yeah,
probably a highlight for me personally.
right.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh,
first like industry professional,
yeah.
right? That was awesome. Can't wait for more of those
Hmm.
ones. I also really like Zach and Ryan's episode, to be
Yeah.
honest. It was cool because I never really met Zach or Ryan.
Yeah, me neither.
And Ryan, I literally had one conversation, it was on the podcast
Hmm.
basically. I saw him while filming on the street like a few months later, and bro came up to me and gave me a hug and everything, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, like
nice.
one conversation,
That's awesome.
just that's it.
Yeah.
And I think you just can't do that kind of stuff if you were just meeting someone at a mixer. I feel like I think it's these like intimate, like face to face conversations, these hour long conversations that really make you connect with someone at a deeper level, which I really appreciated. So I think that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I think, and what are some things you want to improve on for our podcast that you might not even have told me?
I mean, for right now, I think we're at a pretty good place.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really just about incremental growth. I think one thing that we can work on is keeping the conversation interesting, depending on the guest. Just because I feel like everyone has like a slightly different approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some who are like just very comfortable in front of the camera and don't care what they're saying. They're really outgoing and they're really, just straightforward with it. And there are definitely others who are slightly more on the reserved side of things. And I think being able to adapt to that better would serve as well. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what you said. Is just carrying that conversation and having like, you know, like almost a story to it too. Like
Yeah.
that there is like hills and valleys, and it just like you get a lot. Like I want to be more mindful of what the audience is giving us. Like they're giving us an hour of their life, so I think it's like our obligation to like also give them the
Yeah.
most information possible and the most entertainment possible in the time we have. And it is difficult because we are not the ones controlling the whole thing, but I think there's a lot more we can improve on in our interviews or even in our selection process for guests too, to find the most interesting people with the most knowledge and giving them like the hard questions and like the interesting ones. Cause I mean, honestly, a lot of the Instagram like interviewers, they're really good at like they would like I saw this one guy who stopped like a billionaire, like a millionaire off the street, and he would just throw questions at the guy, and it was like super engaging, fast paced, and you really learn a lot from the people he interviews, and just being able to think creatively off their feet, right? I think that's what like good journalism is, and it's like obviously we're not like journalists, but I think there's a whole world out there, and the ceiling is very high for us to keep improving.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. What are some ways you think that we what are some like highlights and like individual highlights
From
of our
our past
industry?
episodes?
Yeah, just anything from like a question, a reaction, a moment.
Yeah, I mean, all of Ethan's episode is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, specific moments. I think there's a lot of times where we would talk to someone and they would drop like some wisdom, and I'm like, whoa, I never thought of it that way,
Yeah.
right? Or when we talk about something and it was like we realize how similar they are to the other guests too, like how I think 3 4 guests in a row said they started filmmaking because they want to be YouTubers,
Yeah.
and it's like really
That
funny.
see, that kind of surprised me
Really?
a little bit. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like at least the first couple of friends I made at USC who were filmmakers didn't start that way, but then it was really interesting to see. I mean, you're one of the first that I encountered who already ran like a YouTube channel but also was really passionate about filmmaking. The two kind of intersect a lot now, but yeah, that kind of surprised me. It was a pleasant surprise knowing that everyone sort of had that goal and probably still do. I mean, I'm tongue into one right now, so
Dude, I mean, you know who else who was a successful director who started kind of in YouTube?
yeah.
I actually recently read his biography called Viewfinder, Jon M.
Oh, really?
And he talked
Oh,
about when
yeah.
he was breaking into Hollywood,
Yeah.
how he got his 480s seen by Steven
That's right.
Spielberg,
Yeah, yeah,
and then he was on a roll, but nothing was happening.
yeah.
So then he
For
went,
years, yeah.
and he went back, because he was trying to make, a living and like trying to test things out, and he saw when YouTube was just starting out, so he made a ton of content on YouTube for years before he really got back into Hollywood, and it was just cool to see like that is kind of the new whole like freighter economy. I think he's like,
Yeah.
and I think because he grew up in Palo Alto or in the Bay
Bay
Area.
Area. Yeah.
I actually went to his
Silicon
dad's
Valley.
restaurant the other day.
Really nice.
It was quite good.
Yeah.
They had his books
What is it
being
called? The
sold.
Choose?
Chef
Chef
Chu's.
Choose,
It
is
was
it?
literally on the way to the airport in San Jose,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Whoa, like we gotta go here." And yeah, and I read his book. It was actually you
Yeah.
should definitely check it out.
I'm 25% into it.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
talks about 310 and 480 later
Yeah,
on
he
in the
does.
book.
Yeah, he also talked about, yeah, just how that kind of raised his expectation, but then soon he realized, oh, like
Mm,
not everything works out instantly, so he just kept going and making
yeah,
stuff on YouTube, and that's really
and
inspiring.
it was really cool how he's one of the like pioneer like Asian American filmmakers.
Oh yeah, I'll say so. Yeah, I mean,
It's
Crazy Rich
beautiful.
Asians was. I remember seeing that, and like, at that point I didn't really understand how the industry worked, but now I'm like, it's like such a miracle that that movie got
Mhm.
made and was a success.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's also kind of expected because it's a great movie, and
yeah.
I think it really resonated with like the Asian diaspora. So
And I also think like I mean like as inspiring as things are, like obviously the industry is different now. So it's like it's hard to replicate his success, but what I think remains the same is that mentality of keep pushing if you really believe in it and just like really go for it and not give up. I think is like yeah, that applies to everything,
yeah,
no matter the
absolutely.
time. And I think it's like a lot of lessons, throughout history always replay like is true, even though the whole society is different. Like I think just living by your values and just like really, and I think for this podcast is like we knew like a lot of podcasts. There's so many podcasts out there,
Hmm.
but very few are consistent. Like very, not that many like make it past like episode 10.
Hmm.
And our whole goal is to just make it consistently
Hmm.
and just like no matter how hard it is, just like to keep pushing, and that way we can make our mistakes, we can learn from them and keep improving this whole thing. And I think it was really easy. There's so many moments where it would have been just so easy, just like, nah, like I don't feel like editing this. Like, it takes like 4 hours per podcast after recording. So it's like 6 hours of work on a single episode. And it's like it's so easy to just not do that. But I
Hmm.
think that's what separates people and people is like there's the people who, hit a wall and they just go through it, and there's the people who just like take another route. And I think it was important for us to like go for it. Like I mean, that doesn't mean like if we really hated it and was like dumb, like we had to do it. But I think it was having that drive to keep pushing, because like we're not doing it to get the views. We're kind of doing it just to have these conversations
Yeah.
and to help people who actually might not be able to
Hmm.
be in a place to have these conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I mean, the first act break, like that graphic and our logo and all that took so long to design, but
Yeah. Back in January. That was a minute
it
ago.
was winter break, right?
Yeah, I
And
was winter break.
that was
Early
it was a lot
January.
of fun, just like setting everything up, using
Yeah.
like Buzzsprout at the beginning, and now we're using
Yeah.
Spotify for creators, and
Hmm.
YouTube is a great platform too with the reels.
Yeah.
And I think I really like how we finally figured out how to like do the division of labor. How you're doing the social media like side of things,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of doing like the post production, because it really does like help to have two people or like more than one working on something. Because if I
Yeah.
had to do the reels too, like oh my god, like that would have been way too much, and that's something that's been nice to figure out. And having a third partner in Autopod helping us cut faster.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was nice. I mean, DaVinci recently have like a auto cutting thing now for the
Mm.
multicams. I know, like low key, it's kind of jank, and it's like it takes like a
Hey,
hundred
Da
times.
Vinci, if you're listening,
It takes 100 times
there's room for
longer, I
improvement.
think. So like, I think I'm gonna wait for it to keep getting better
Yeah.
until we can replace Autopod with it. And by that time, Autopod, if you're listening, you can lower your price by half, and I'll keep subscribing to you guys. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this podcast has been so much learning too, and it's also kind of introduced me to the world of podcasts. I never really listened to anything
Hmm.
before this. It made me get Spotify. It made me listen to like Colin and Smear,
Yeah.
Team Deacon, The Town. Like
Yeah.
I never really listened to these people before.
Yeah. I mean, listened to podcasts before, but
Hmm.
um, I think being a part of this and starting this and, inviting guests on and talking about it and editing it, um, I think mentally I'm more attuned to podcasts now, so I open the app more often than ever before. Yeah, like you said, also started listening to The Town, like just more consistently stuff that I listened to before. Soul
Hmm.
Bloom with Rainn Wilson, the actor from The Office,
Hmm.
um,
Soul Bloom,
Dwight
what's that?
Schrute. It's about spirituality, and
Oh,
he
cool.
invites a lot of people on to talk about how we can be more at peace with ourselves given everything that's going on in the world. So like psychologists and authors, writers, philosophers, actors, musicians.
Hmm.
It's really laid back. It's not exactly film focused. Um, but then The Town, all the other stuff. But I don't know. Podcasts are becoming bigger and bigger, and then but at the same time, more people are doing it.
Hmm.
And I think there's definitely like uh, it's definitely like a growing sector, and I think I mean it's what Emmy eligible now podcasts.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
shows are.
crazy.
Well, who's that? Alex, what's her name? Call her daddy.
Something like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
forget her last name, but she just had like a mini docu series or mini doc or something
Mm.
released, and she got her start. I mean, she is still a podcaster, but like that's how she rose to fame, and she's got a lot of fans now just because of a podcast. And I think I don't know, just trying different things, including the podcast. I think
You know what? I was
really
in
is
my
really
acting
interesting.
class today, and I
Yeah,
learned something or I heard a quote that really resonated with me, and it was, Don't try to catch up to the industry. Have the industry try to catch up to you." If you think
yeah.
about
I've
it.
heard something similar. I've heard that
Mm.
the industry or the audience doesn't know what they want, which also
Mm.
kind of translates to the industry can't exactly predict
Yeah.
what the audience wants, and so it will be not to our interest to like try to always be too focused on
Mm.
the trends, which is hard to do given just like
It's easy.
how yeah, because like obviously you want to stay on top of things, but
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I only say that because right now, the industry is changing more than it has ever really changed. I mean, like, you can maybe compare it to when sound was invented or when color was invented, but now, or like when it became digitized with the internet, but now it's like anyone can be a filmmaker, anyone can make content just like with some buttons. And now what I've been really seeing is on social media, pretty much every post people are questioning, is this real? Is this real? And there's a whole new
yeah.
way where you don't know what's real anymore.
I
You don't know what's
I
authentic
saw
anymore.
this is so random. It's
Hmm.
not exactly random, but it's to your point. I saw a video today of cats doing what was the sport called? 跳水. What is that?
Diving?
Diving, yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely AI generated.
Oh,
An
interesting.
Olympic match with cats doing diving.
Uh-huh.
It has like 5.4 million likes as an Instagram reel, which is a lot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And people in the comments didn't. Some were pointing out it was AI, but obviously it was AI because like the Olympic ring, there's like 7, 8 rings on it when it's supposed to be 5. But like yeah, it's definitely here.
Mm.
But I think I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's everyone can make stuff now. And I actually just watched the movie Mountainhead
Oh, interesting.
yesterday, and
Uh-huh.
it's made by the Succession creator, and it's about
Mm.
a tech giant who figures out who releases like a new feature that lets users generate like literally realistic photos and videos that you literally cannot tell. Like it's not for fun anymore. It's like you could literally make propaganda,
Yeah.
and it kind of like derails into like global chaos, and they're just in their um, fancy building in like in a Canadian like mountain range, and they're trying to figure out if they want to fix the problem or not. It's like a satire again from Succession, but the Succession
Dude,
creator. But
that's fucking
I don't know.
that's nuts. So what I see is like there's like main groups of people. The people who are like, there's a lot of experts who are like, AI will never be able to be human like us. AI will never be able to do this. We'll never be able to do that. And the second group of people are like, AI will be able to do anything. AI will be able to do anything. We're
Yeah.
cut. We're cut. We're
Mhm.
cut. And I'm just like feeling like there's no point in either one. Because like, what's the point of keep saying we're cooked? What does that bring to society? And just like yeah, okay, so if we're cooked, then what's the point of like living and stuff, right? Like, and I think that's just not productive to keep like telling everyone, because like, okay, if AI could do everything we could, then what is the point of human life, right? And then there's the people who are like, it'll never be able to do this, it'll never be able to do that. And I also just feel like you don't know, and it could technically do anything. And it honestly almost shatters, like if it can really exceed what humans can do, which I don't have like doubt that it could really, then I think it's kind of shattering what we know as a society ever have in its like history of humankind. There has never been an invention that can do everything better than a person could. Like, yeah, okay, there's a computer, but without a person is nothing. But now there's something that could do without us, and that's what's so scary, because we're no longer the dominant species. But then at the end of the day, it's like, why do we have to be the dominant species? We're just dominant because that's what we have been for a few thousand years. But like in the grand scheme of things, like what does that really matter, right? And I don't know, it's kind of scary, but I'm really excited. I mean, if it could solve all the world's mysteries, then that's good, you know.
Yeah. I mean every tech has a pro and con. What I used to read a lot about it, and
Mm,
like I used to be in the camp of like I jump back and forth between like doomsday talk and like it's whatever.
mm,
Like, oh, it won't, it's just a tool, to like, oh my gosh, it's gonna destroy me and my career and everyone else's life. But I don't know. I think my right now my perspective is that I'm not working in the AI tech industry.
yeah.
There is quite literally there's very 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 little as of now that I can do to change the trajectory of where AI is going. Neither of us, 99% of the people that we know personally had a say in ChatGPT being put out or in Google Veil being developed. It was just gonna go, right? They see a potential in it. There's value to be had. There's money to be made. Then people are gonna keep developing it. That's just the truth of it. And I think right now I'm just more in the mindset of like I'm gonna not gonna try to think too much. I'm gonna still like read up about the latest developments, but at some point it's better for my mental health to just go. It's not in my control, and thus, it should not worry me all that much. It's like what John M. said in his commencement speech. Worry is the misuse of imagination. I think we're all imagining different kinds of scenarios when what we could do is, hone our craft, live our life, uh, learn to be a better person, learn to be a better son, a better partner, a better, friend, a better whatever.
Mm,
And I think that's more valuable to spend my time on
yeah.
than spending time reading what's that Instagram page. Like there's a bunch of them about like
Oh my god.
AI page. Oh, this is gonna change everything, or like
Hollywood is
the
dead.
new thing is going to destroy everyone's job. Like I get why they're so big. I get why people tune into it. I used to tune into it. Now I just shut that off completely because it's similar to news. It is news, but it's like you could spend every waking hour of your life reading the news about what's happening everywhere, but you could also, wait out a little bit, say like a week or a month and then read like a summary of what has happened in the past month or the past week and be like,
Mm,
oh, here's what's developed, here's what's relevant to me, and here's how I can react to it responsibly and appropriately.
yeah.
But as of now, my view is like, Google's not going to stop. None of these companies are going to stop. And the only thing I can do is to try to adapt to it and learn to use it, see where it takes. But at the same time, just keep keep like a clear North Star of where I'm trying to get at, which is to be like creatively, to have a consistent and um, creative output that I'm happy with, that I align myself with in
Mm-hmm.
terms of my values, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long journey going from like being completely crippled by how much AI is affecting all of us to just acceptance of how things are going to go, because it is quite literally outside of our control. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just my view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta bring a AI expert on this show and
Well, I think we have a couple.
hear
We
their
have a couple
view.
we could bring on to talk
Definitely.
about it.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I'm sure you're for it too, but like I'm all for like different perspectives and clashing of ideas.
Yeah.
And so I think I definitely want to bring on people who are like, like you said, there's the camp of like, this is the greatest thing, and it's going to bring so much value to our lives, to like, oh no, this is destroying everything. I think both are a little bit extreme, but yeah, I don't know. Different perspectives is always healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. See you guys in the next episode. Peace out.
Peace out.